Yeah, so I'm going to introduce Defend for Glory. Very similar setup to Gaz's, actually. Luckily, I don't have to draw because Gaz has set a very high standard tonight with the drawing. So, Defend for Glory. I'm going to pop a link in, actually, just into the chat first, so you can open that up to see a written explanation on the England Football Learning website. So very simply, we've got a small-sided game. This can be of any numbers. It could be 3v3, 6v6, 7v7. And the pitch is split into horizontal thirds. Ideally for the thirds, I know there was a comment earlier around kind of what equipment you use. Ideally for this, you've got like flat discs because there's less disturbance to the game. But cones are fine as well. I'm sure we play on some bumpy pitches along the way, so maybe some cones can be used for that. But as long as it's clearly identified into thirds, so each team have a defensive third, a middle third, and an attacking third. Now, the rules on this game are if your team win the ball in your attacking third and score, you get 3 goals. So if you win the ball in your attacking third and score, you get 3 goals. It doesn't have to be the same player. So it might be that I win the ball in the attacking third, pass the ball to Paul, Paul puts it in the net. That's 3 points for our team. There we go, a big nod from Paul. He's done that before. If we win the ball in the middle third and score, that's 2 goals. If we win the ball in our defensive third and score, 1 goal. Just with that point system in mind that you can see on your screen, what kind of pressure am I encouraging the players to practice in this session? Where do I want them to really win the ball? So if you can just pop that in the chat just whilst I go through the next bit. Now, obviously, this is the same for both teams, the yellow and blue. I'm now going to go through the step. And just as a word of warning, there's going to be a few rule changes you can add to this. I wouldn't do this all in one session. Like Paul said earlier, actually, I might use this game over 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, but tweak it slightly each week, depending on the players that I coach. And it's great to see in the chat box, a lot of high pressing, and that's great. So with the rules that you can see on that screen, I'm rewarding that high pressure. They don't have to, and I think it's really important that the players have that choice because, again, that really helps with engagement, but I'm rewarding that high press in this example. And what gets rewarded gets repeated. So let's look at the S, the space. If I was to make this pitch really big, which would have certain values in it, that would make defending a lot harder because the area we have to defend is so much bigger. So that really makes the defending harder. And like Gaz showed earlier, we can start to maybe just shave the corners off one end of the pitch to make one end smaller, one end bigger. Again, that's just to adjust the level of difficulty for each team. On the flip side, we might make it smaller. And if we make it smaller, that's easier to defend. So they might get more success at challenging for the ball or intercepting for the ball. Just onto the T now. So how we might change the task. So like you've already identified, the current point system is going to reward us for that high press, pressing high up the pitch and scoring. I might actually flip that. So it might be that next week we're going to offer 3 points for winning it in our defensive third and scoring. 2 for the middle, 1 for the attacking third. Now, if we do that, obviously, we're then rewarding more of that. If the opposition have the ball, we're going to let them have it. We're going to really park the bus, compact our goal and win it there and then spring a counter-attack. So you can start to use this game and really manipulate the point system to get different kind of behaviours out from your players. Because there's definitely, during their time playing, going to be times where they need to go high press, but also times they need to maybe sit off and be really compact. And this is a really engaging way of helping them understand what it's like to maybe go and high press and defend lots of space behind them, but at the same time, or the next week, actually defending with a lot of patience and a lot of space in front of you. And that's where you can start to help your players explore those different scenarios. You might also change the task slightly by rewarding interceptions. So that real positive defending to go and get on the front foot and intercept the ball. And you might say, do you know what? If you win the ball by interception and score, I'll double your score. Okay? So they can still challenge in an area of the pitch and score, but if they intercept, it's worth double. And then it's up to them to figure out how can we encourage the opposition to play risky passes for us to intercept. And wow, that will definitely, regardless of age or stage, take you some weeks to get across and really delve into that detail. Next, the E, so the equipment. We're not all blessed with loads of goals, so we might actually need to use end zones, which again is absolutely fine. So you can change one end into an end zone or both. And all I'd probably ask the players is that if they win the ball or intercept it, they then must get the ball into the end zone using controlled possession. And controlled possession might be dribbling in or might be passing to a friend in that end zone rather than just shooting through it. You can also start to reward them for entering the central zone of an end zone. So what I mean by that is where the goal is, that would be the central part of the end zone. And if they get in there, they might get double points or triple points. And what you hopefully are going to reward is that they win the ball and then they go and attack that central zone and they get rewarded for it. The last one I'm just going to touch on is the people. So we spoke about tonight already kind of using overloads. So I might put my stronger, more experienced defenders on a team that's got less players, just to stress them out a little bit and really challenge them. I might also change the roles that they play. So it might be that I ask each team to choose a secret agent. And it might be that if that secret agent is able to win the ball, either by challenging or intercepting, and then the team scores, that is triple points. But it's only for that one player. And in my experience of using the secret agent, especially with younger players, but adults as well, to be honest, they love this because they've got to figure out who is the secret agent on the opposite team? How are we going to stop them? And to put that into the game, the real game of football, that might be, right, the left winger is a real problem to us. They're attacking really well. We've got to stop that player. So again, you're allowing your players to solve some real game problems and hopefully in a really engaging way through earning points.